Good morning, welcome to Breakfast with Naga Munchetty and Charlie State.
Our headlines today. Good morning, it is Thursday the 21st of May. Our top story is that NHS leaders have warned of severe consequences for the health service if a test, track and trace system for coronavirus is not in place soon.
The NHS Confederation has written to the Health Secretary Matt Hancock saying any further easing of the lockdown depends on a clear strategy and a delay will risk a second peak of the infection.
Meanwhile, the Scottish Government is set to publish its plans for easing the lockdown 1 week since restrictions were relaxed in England. Keith Doyle has more. We can talk to our political correspondent, Chris Mason, who's in Westminster for us. Chris, good morning to you. So, look, test, track and trace. On and off, we've been hearing about it. But why? Why is it so important? What does it mean?
Yeah, morning to you, Naga.
We are going to talk to the Security Minister, James Brokenshire. That's around 7:30.
The head of the World Health Organization has warned there's still a long way to go before the coronavirus pandemic is over.
Now, a husband who wrote a poem for his wife every day for 25 years has shared his collection of love letters online.
From Delhi for us this morning.
It is 6:15. Good morning to you. Well, let's update you with what's happening in the paper. Lovely stories on the inside pages as well. Charlie, question of the morning. I know you look forward to this moment in time.
Is it a quiz?
No, it's not a quiz, just a question. Are you lucky in raffles?
No.
Do you enter raffles?
I have done occasionally, never won anything ever.
Ever?
No.
Maybe you're not entering enough raffles. If the raffle prize was €3 million worth of prize, and the ticket were €100, the raffle ticket.
€100 per ticket?
Per ticket, but the prize would be worth €3 million. Would you enter? If you had €100.
Well, without wishing to sound like I'm over-analysing this, the key issue...
So let me tell you the story, right? So this is the story. The luck of the draw. This is where a €3 million Picasso painting could be won.
Well, my question was going to be how many tickets were sold.
There you go, I answered that.
So it's a 1 in £50,000 chance of winning £3 million.
Yeah.
Which is good. I would say that those odds are good, aren't they? As compared with, I don't know, the lottery or things like that.
Yeah, it's not bad. But, I mean, to get that beautiful Picasso. Beautiful.
We're talking quite a bit this morning about what people have been doing in the warm as the weather's improved. And this is not necessarily weather-related, but it's just people may well have seen...
The gentleman said that he had made a round trip of 100 miles. It was his wife's birthday. A round trip of 100 miles to get McDonald's and brought it back for his wife.
Necessary journey?
Are you sticking to the food theme?
Yes. So I think a few of the papers picking up on this thing on a slightly different food theme, scones. So the Queen...
Well, I've had scones once, buttermilk scones, which changed my mind about scones. But
well, whether you like them or not, they do exist.
I know.
And there is an argument as to whether to use the eggs in them or not use the eggs in them.
Oh, OK. Do you make scones?
No.
So would you use eggs or not use eggs?
I think I probably would. The Queen has said that she uses a couple of eggs. Mary Berry, for example, uses eggs. But then Delia Smith, I didn't know this until I just read this, Delia Smith does not.
Can we just start off the row? Jam first or second? Jam or cream first?
I'm not getting into that.
Come on.
No, I'm just not going to get
put
into
yourself out there. Just a little bit. Jam first. Jam first, because then it's sticky base on the scone, and then you can have the cream. If you put the cream first, the jam would slide off. Time now is 19 minutes past 6.
I have all the weather for you, of course, and the sport coming up a little later on this morning.
Since the start of the lockdown, many of us have turned to social media to stay in touch, and Facebook in particular has seen a big increase in demand for its services.
That has led to concerns about the influence of the company and its handling of issues such as misinformation and fake news.
Now, our business editor Simon Jack has been talking to Facebook's founder, Mark Zuckerberg.
So here on Breakfast, we are quite often have the responsibility, don't we, and the privilege of talking to people who have lost loved ones.
Yeah.
And often they do want to tell us what has happened, you know, about the illness itself. But I'm always struck by how they always want us to know as well something about who their loved ones were, you know, just something personal.
Well, it keeps the memory alive, and it just makes sure that people know how special these people were. I mean, we've been very fortunate enough to talk to Eloise. When her father passed away, his name was Kim, with COVID-19, she wanted everyone's memory of him to be about his love of magic, and she's turned to the local community to help make it happen. And Fiona Trop has been to meet Eloise. What a lovely way to remember your father.
Absolutely. It's Eloise paying, you know, it's her own tribute. And it's not a tribute, is it? It's just, it was kind of celebrating the thing.
Kim's life, yeah.
A thing that he loved doing, they loved about him. So thank you. Again, we say there's a lot, don't we? Thank you to your family for sharing that with us.
If you want to read more tributes...
Let's take a look at the weather now. Matt's going to have all the details for us now. What a lovely picture that is, Matt. I could picture you just sitting in that little area on the left there as I'm looking at a cup of tea. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Very nice.
Be lovely, Charlie.
First, a summary of today's main stories from BBC News. NHS leaders have warned of severe consequences for the health service if a test, track and trace system for coronavirus is not in place soon.
The head of the World Health Organization has warned there's still a long way to go before the coronavirus pandemic is over.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like it was flourishing.
Didn't it?
Didn't it? Look lovely. Let's talk to Mike, find out what's happening in the sport. Now, Mike, good morning to you. I remember all the rows over the Tokyo Olympics, especially with the Japanese government and them saying, yes, it's going to go ahead, being really quite defiant, while sports people across the world were saying, this is utter madness. Now what's happening?
Well, now all the talk is about...
Well, you'll be aware that Scotland's advice for people during lockdown is different to rules across the rest.
Let's talk to the Deputy First Minister of Scotland, John Swinney. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast today. I think it's fair to say Scotland seems to have some of the toughest measures, not just in the UK, but in Europe. When are they going to ease? Through the guidance that was issued by the Scottish Government from March the 13th, and it has... you look at it and it says at one point patients being discharged from hospital for care homes, this is March 13th, should be screened clinically to ensure that people at risk are not transferred inappropriately, but also that flows from hospitals are not hindered and, where appropriate, are expedited. I mean, that immediately brings up the question, what was more important, protecting NHS capacity or the lives of those who were in care homes? Assistant, on March the 26th, your guidance said individuals being discharged from hospital do not routinely need confirmation of a negative COVID test. And then on April the 21st, less than a month after, the Health Minister said that COVID-19 patients discharged from hospital to a care home should have given 2 negative tests before discharge. That's not consistent.
Just to clarify, some of the guidelines that are in place in Scotland, as it stands now, talking, of course, about the possible changes, but in Scotland, as of now, you can exercise more than once a day, but it has to be close to your own home.
If you are able to do that, what's the weather going to be like?